John Herbert Dillinger was born on June 22, 1903, in Indianapolis, Indiana, to a grocer named John Wilson Dillinger and a woman named Mary Ellen Lancaster. Unfortunately, his mother passed away even before John turned 4, and he was raised by his older sister, Audrey. But his problems began when their father remarried several years later, leading to clashes between young Dillinger and his father, who at times disciplined him harshly, but also spoiled the boy with money for candy. During his youth, he showed his talent by leading a neighborhood gang known as the Dirty Dozen and engaged in petty thefts like pilfering coal from railroad cars. This prompted his father to move the family to a farm in Mooresville in 1920 to provide John with a healthy environment, hoping that this would change him for the better. But this relocation did little to curb his rebellious nature, and in 1923, he enlisted in the U.S. Navy, just to avoid prosecution for a joyriding incident. True to his nature, he deserted his post on the USS Utah just a few months later and returned to Mooresville in 1924, where he married 16-year-old Beryl Hovius. But his domestic life was short-lived as he was soon arrested for a botched robbery of a local grocer named Frank Morgan. Acting as per his father's advice, Dillinger pleaded guilty, hoping that he will be dealt with leniency, but he was instead handed a harsh sentence of 10 to 20 years. During his 9 years in the Indiana State Prison, Dillinger became embittered and spent his time studying the meticulous bank-robbing methods of the legendary Herman Lamb, and also formed alliances with seasoned criminals like Harry Pierpont and Homer Van Meter. He eventually got his parole in May 1933, and as expected, immediately embarked on a violent bank-robbing spree across the Midwest to fund the escape of his prison associates, Harry and Homer. He eventually ended up smuggling guns into the prison to facilitate their breakout. Although John was later arrested in Ohio, his newly freed cohorts returned the favor by raiding the jail and killing Sheriff Jesse Sarber to liberate John. The gang then moved through Florida and eventually to Arizona, and everything was going smoothly until January 1934, when a hotel fire accidentally led to their identification, leading to their immediate capture by the local police. John was extradited to the Lake County Jail in Crown Point, Indiana, a facility touted as escape-proof. But John was adamant on having the final say. On the morning of March 3, 1934, he famously bluffed his way to freedom using a wooden gun, which he had whittled and blackened with shoe polish. He locked several guards in cells and fled with a fellow inmate named Herbert Youngblood, stealing Sheriff Lillian Hawley's personal car to make his getaway to Chicago. But unfortunately, he made a big mistake by driving the stolen vehicle across state lines, and hence committing a federal offense that allowed the FBI to take charge of the manhunt. In a desperate attempt to evade the authorities, he underwent plastic surgery to alter his facial features and tried to have his fingerprints removed with acid, all the while continuing his hobby of robbing banks with new associates like Babyface Nelson. The end of his career arrived on July 22, 1934, when a brothel madam named Anna Sage, known to history as the Woman in Red, betrayed him to the FBI in exchange for help with her deportation status. She led Dillinger and his girlfriend, Polly Hamilton, to the Biograph Theater in Chicago to see the film Manhattan Melodrama. Little did John know that these were the final moments of his life. As they exited, FBI agents moved in to arrest him. Seeing this, John attempted to flee into a nearby alley and reached for his pistol, but he was fatally shot by agents and pronounced dead later on, thereby ending the reign of the man who had become America's first public enemy #1. If you like this story, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, as we are going to bring more such stories to you. Thank you for watching.